along with teams from the South African Premier Soccer League, with teams in India are battling it out in a platform which has given some absolutely phenomenal young talent from India a chance to rub shoulders against perhaps one of the best in the world so far. You're watching the future stars of the country, Premier League, Indian Super League, I-League, also as a build-up to the Reliance Foundation Development League here. And this ground has seen it all. The holy turf right in front of you all as we prepare for this game. Stellenbosch FC are coming back fresh after a victory against ATK Mohun Bagan, 2-0. And they have looked evenly poised since then. But this game could be a tightly contested battle at the end, because we have seen that they all want their hands on that coveted silverware, the Premier League Next Generation Cup. In the third edition here in India, seen some incredible matches right from the start. Three teams from in the Indian Super League, the likes of Bengaluru FC, alongside, in fact, two there from the ISL, followed by the young champs and also Sudeva Delhi. West Ham United on the other end, as the senior team, of course, celebrates. They've come back against a win and a draw against ATK Mohun Bagan. An emphatic victory 4-0 against that of Bengaluru FC. And they look to have lost, in fact, recovered that lost ground earlier on. It's been a pulsating affair so far in the matches so far. 2 rounds back to back, as right in front of your screens, Stellenbosch and West Ham United make their way onto this Halo turf yet again. Remember, we are building up to the business end of the season. Premier League Next Generation Cup has been an absolute revelation for fine talent across the world. In true amalgamation, not just of football, but culture associated with these countries. We talk about India, England, also South Africa this time round, the defending champions at the Premier League Next Generation Cup. Started way back in 2019. And we eventually looking out to build up to one of the most sacred and phenomenal tournaments to have taken place in the world. Stellenbosch FC and West Ham United. It's that right start they needed to the campaign, Stellenbosch, after, of course, the victory against ATK Mohun Bagan. With that winner from Roy Keane Funtir, the 58th minute stunner. They're topping the table, remember, with 2 games victory against 2 Indian teams, Bengaluru FC and ATK Mohun Bagan. While the senior team also celebrates against that victory against TS Galaxy. And we have the referees, of course, in between. Venkatesh are alongside their assistant Sumanta, Ujjwal Halder, and the 4th official Crystal John, as both teams line up for a photo op. You're watching us live on the official YouTube channel of the Premier League. All the viewers who just tuned in, let you all know that the Next Generation Cup, the Premier League Next Generation Cup, brought to you by the Reliance Foundation, is in its very 3rd edition, in a bright, warm, humid afternoon in Mumbai. For the ones in India, I don't need to introduce them, but for the ones watching us across the world, it gets pretty humid in this part of the country during this time of the year. Well, let's have a look at the team then. Stellenbosch FC come out with just 1 change. The goal scorer earlier on, we have the likes of Jack Lashe there making way for Jalen Trent. They're going with the 4-3-3 with Shakir Ahmed, Nande Hawana, and also Ntandale Sishi alongside Antonio Van Wyk and Kyle Bailey striking up front. As we look forward with a pennant exchange for both these teams, West Ham in their away kit black and Stellenbosch in their home kit, as they are given that status of home team for this game. We've seen some interesting engagements happen, and that's how the West Ham 5 changes, pretty much the same side which they had in the first game, which they drew against ATK Mohun Bagan. And the likes of Mason Terry will be between the sticks alongside Billy Bates, Kellen Casey, and also Lewis Offord in the defense. Gideon Kodua and Regan Clayton would also be taking charge of scoring goals for the West Ham side. Mason Terry, of course, has been impressive in his campaign so far. The start so far, they had to acclimatise to the weather conditions alongside the turf as well. Certainly could be a little different for the part in which they play against. Remember, they picked up an interesting win against the Fulham Under-18 in the Under-18 Premier League, but lost 3-2. Lost 2-1 in fact against Manchester City. And in one of the biggest results that they've had so far. They're beating out Arsenal 5-1 in the FA Youth Cup. And Stellenbosch, established in the 20th century, of course, 21st. Eventually, looking at a team which has come up in 2016 and has taken great strides till what we know till now, at least. The youth sides have been a pick, while the senior team, and we're underway at the Reliance Corporate Park. Then West Ham scoring from right to left in front of your screens, and Stellenbosch will be looking forward to draw first blood in a tightly contested battle out here. You're talking of course, about the changes which have come by. The Loris Cogan side, 5 changes, like I mentioned earlier on. They're doing all the experiments after that victory. 4 goals scored against in the last campaign against Bengaluru. They really struggled in the Premier League tournament so far. Even back then in UK, the last edition which was held, of course, Stellenbosch were relying heavily on the services of Antonio van Wijk, who's produced some gems in this tournament. Evangelos Velios, the coach from Stellenbosch, content with his performance, but could probably want more goals in his kitty. Certainly having the little pressure of being the defending champions in this competition. Slow start then to the campaign. We're on Antonio van Wijk. I'm sure the defenders from West Ham will be having their eyes on him till the very end. You give him an inch, he'll punish you always. They've seen that. Here's Lewis Orford then. Tyrone Akpata, who has made it to the playing 11. And Loris Cogan, of course, on the other end. We have from West Ham United. In comes the chance yet again. Quickly turning out. Now, Jalen Trent, just that one change which has come in. I'm sure Azul Ajaklashe there on the bench. Jalen Trent would have a task in hand on the number 17 jersey. Stellenbosch wanting to keep lion's share of the position there. John Asheen, the goalkeeper for Stellenbosch, has been tested on a couple of occasions. In comes Jalen Trent. Here's the first attempt then. What a lovely ball. Stellenbosch on the incursion. Will they get a goal? Aha! Goal line clearance then. The first attempt to Stellenbosch have given a wake-up call for West Ham United. The keeper was beaten outright. Mason Terry. Now look at that for a run coming in. Kyle Bailey there completely took the keeper off guard. Just had to finish it, but what a brilliant save. Kaelan Casey saves the team from the blushes this time round. A goal line clearance. The goal line, in fact, the score line, still reading 0-0. West Ham calling for an and. Leon says the referee. So they've just been getting that initial acceleration to the campaign in a rush to get their first goal. I've been talking about it, that Stellenbosch eventually start the blitzkrieg right from the word go. Rocky Nafontir quickly turns. You watch out for that talented youngster alongside Antonio van Wijk. First goal, he gave a magical South African goal on display. There was that challenge then. Billy Bates. This time it was Fontier up in action. And then looked a promising side, of course. Stellenbosch They play like a defending champion, but here the stakes are high. West Ham have been equally convincing in their campaign so far. Started out a little slow, but eventually gaining momentum and then scoring 4 past Bengaluru. The Reliance Foundation Young Champs on the other end have really played their hearts out in the last game around against Wolves. Just 2 scored against them, and eventually they showed some great character while building up. West Ham look under pressure to the start. Lewis Orford there. What's interesting, Lewis Orford has been told to play a couple of steps behind. Oh, that's a poor pass. Could have done really better there. One thing which is in common here, as against the Indian teams, is that the physicality goes neck to neck with the South African side at loggerheads against the English counterparts. West Ham would be on challenge there. Their first game, West Ham United, something for them to remember or eventually forget. They're playing the likes of earlier on ATK Mohan Bagan. Gave them a tough fight. It's been good enough so far. Just that talk about another Premier League team, the Kiddie and Everton have been trailing now in the campaign in their Group B. Here comes West Ham. Is that man Jamal? Calls it around. Brilliantly won now. West Ham this time intercepted. Ryan Battram has surged ahead for his team. The defenders have looked to break into the mid-third and eventually the attacking one. Watch out for brilliant. Now eventually if you see any other team, the defender would eventually be running behind that winger. And this time he was ahead, which is what really matters when trying to win the ball back, as West Ham try to reclaim their position. Lovely ball put forward there now. In comes Kodua. Defended yet again. Kodua and Clayton wanting to create some goal-scoring chances from that spot. We've seen it earlier on in the last victory. Dan Drigge favor for Wanmian alongside Wanji and Lewis Orford finding the back of the net in that impressive victory last time round. Surprisingly, 3 of them are out on the bench. We have also Ollie Skulls, George Erdi would be eventually brought in into this game. It's a 70-minute affair, remember, 35 each, as we gear up for semi-finals and finals of this decorated tournament. A lot of Indian talent taking the chances. It's been a lot of learning as well. Speaking to the coaches involved in this process, teams like Sudhaiva Delhi, the young champs as well. You didn't get opportunities like this too often, so make utmost use of it when it's there. Here comes Regan Clayton yet again from the flank, finding for Wanmi. The man was scored some stunners from there. West Ham on the prowl this time, intercepted brilliantly yet again. Nande. Kellen Casey playing in that role right in the midfield. Watch out for those good-looking balls coming in from the right flank. It'll be that man, Kellen Casey. And as Angelo celebrates his birthday today from the senior side, West Ham United, fans are pouring in all the wishes on social media. We've seen some of his classic free kicks. Expect a few of them here with the youth team, who have certainly have him as his role model. Here's a turn there. Roy Keane, Afontir in towards Jalen Trent to cross it inside. Afontir with his left, still in contention. Kyle Huggins, brilliant passing, still not letting the ball go away. Antonio van Wijk this time. Close quarters. They're knocking the doors. Stellenbosch are piling up their initial pressure there. And yet again, Antonio van Wijk with a dreamy start then to his campaign. Seen his magical touches there from that flank. And Mason Terry will be on the tip of his toes if he has to pull out some stunning saves there, because I'll tell you what, there'll be some of the stinging and piercing balls coming in from Stellenbosch as West Ham now push up the counter. A lot of fans would have expected West Ham to push ahead as we just touched that 10-minute mark. 25 more to go in this first half. What's been impressive is how these two teams have really adjusted the climatic conditions, especially the Premier League teams when they come down in this part of the world. Not unlike the weather back there. Jamal. Lewis Orford. Quick give and go, Billy Bates. Kalen Casey. They've been impressive in that midfield, trying to hold that ball possession as much as possible, eventually creating those opportunities for strikers up front like Regan Clayton, also Kodua. Liam Jones is there as well, remember. We've seen that dynamic duo of George Erdy and Ollie Skulls, who can wreak havoc in the 18-yard box for the opponents. Stellenbosch. Loris Corgan might have some thinking to do with the kind of initial goals or rather attempts to goals which have come in. Have been a shot on target as well. Mason Terry and his counterparts eventually being one of the most busier. And as we push up and build up to the Premier League Next Generation Cup, eventually. And simultaneously we of course have ATK Mohun Bagan at Loggerheads against Bengaluru FC, two teams from the Indian Super League rivalry we have all known, cherished, loved. Bengaluru, the defending champions of the Reliance Foundation Development League, would be looking forward to get a few points on the board. ATK Mohun Bagan have already opened their accounts here in the Premier League Next Generation Cup with a solitary draw against the team which is just watching on screen, West Ham United, as the Mariners would have happily celebrated that. We have a couple of interesting games in the evening as well. Wolves taking on Sudeva Delhi and Everton taking on Young Champs. That is a 10 o'clock kickoff alongside Wolves and Sudeva, scheduled for an 8 p.m. kickoff for Indian Standard Time. West Ham on the prowl yet again. This time wins it back. Here's a chance for 1-me. It was Regan Clayton there who tried to pull her for trigger, but brilliant defending. Shakir Ahmed just played it out wide towards the like of Regan Clayton. Played it back into that near post, but in the end, brilliant piece of defending. Shakir Ahmed for a corner then. The first one for West Ham United. You've seen them gobbling up a few rebounds, getting the better of the opponents. Story here is the same as well. Headed away this time round. No chances whatsoever by Stellenbosch. And there was that attempt flying away. We had Kodua. Stellenbosch. In comes Zenden Bell. Kyle Bailey earlier on. Van Wijk. Still Van Wijk. Lovely touch and go there. What a brilliant ball this. Stellenbosch are closing in yet again. And Jalen Trent had almost given Stellenbosch the lead there. Brilliant first pass there from the the likes of Antonio van Wyk. West Ham have been on the receiving end then. The last couple of chances they've had. Just end-to-end stuff so far here at the Reliance Corporate Park.
Coming in, midfield, Josie.
Suddenly, pressure seems to have shifted towards West Ham earlier on. Now they've been clinical. Stellenbosch, team from the South African Premier Soccer League. And part of the relocation of Vasco da Gama to Stellenbosch was Western Cape, the team which is plays in fact the games at the Daniel Craver. They've just had the last game as well, the senior side, winning 2-1 against TS Galaxy. Could prove as a stimulus to them on this game especially. But again, this time round, Stellenbosch, touch of brilliance there as they get inside now. There's a chance. Joaquin Afonteiro is at it again this time. Saved yet again, Mason Terry. Has been pulling off some fine saves. Yet there, West Ham leave us offward. Off towards Regan. Look how well they're pressing. Stellenbosch, here's a chance then yet again. Surging ahead, keeping the ball along with them. Afonti towards the right, Shakir Ahmed surges ahead. Here's Antonio van Wyk. Still in from the box. Lovely piece of understanding there, Billy Bates. Oh, this is where they're winning it. This is where they're winning it. In comes the chance from the skipper. Earlier on, what a chance this time yet again. And he's taking everything he gets up from that angle, knocking the doors time and again. Mason Terry diving towards his left yet again. As they push ahead for the water break then. 17 minutes on the clock, remember. Hydrating themselves up in a condition which can pull off all of that water inside the body. As they also get some interesting tactical changes, or rather tactical implementation there with how that first quarter has panned out. As we build up eventually. Let's have a look at the attempts and eventually how it panned out. Here is how Stellenbosch rolled up the sleeve earlier on. Kyle Bailey there got that lead almost immediately into that game, and they've been knocking the doors time and again. This was another one. West Ham came in close towards Regan Clayton, who wanted to pull off a pass inside towards that incoming for Wanmi, and then it was this attempt, Antonio van Wyk and the combination alongside Jalen Trent, and the skipper then eventually pulled off this. It's been 0-0 so far. We have the Reliance Corporate Park as we approach the business end of the Premier League Next Generation Cup. We've had some interesting games. We're talking about Wolves coming as well in this competition. Impressive victory there against Everton, 4-0. And that's how they've been topping that group alongside Young Champs. Was second. All hopes from an Indian team there. The Young Champs carrying it on their shoulders. As ATK Mohun Bagan in fact also look closer if they could win that game, which is happening right across on the other end, if you can see it from the background as well. West Ham United look calm and collected. I'll tell you what, certainly a very clinical team. Watch out for those exploits later on from the likes of for Wanmi, Liam Jones, also Kodua. Within a blink of an eye can change the entire course of the result for the team. Not to forget, you have a bench, of course, which has been tested time and again in this competition. Loris Cogan has ensured that everybody gets game time, which is what, of course, has been the entire motive of this tournament, to give them a chance, the reserve team players, the academy players, to come out here and express themselves. And in that attempt, also trying to upskill themselves. Here's the challenge, play on, says the referee. Stellenbosch, he's on side now. Antonio van Wyk, the flag has stayed down. Van Wyk gets inside. This could be an attempt. Oh, he was offside. Eventually he was offside. He could have gone offside. Rocky Nafuntir and Antonio Van Wyk are giving that South African dream a shape finally. Winning that against West Ham United. Antonio Van Wyk, as we watch the flag going up. What a lovely run of that. Still the scoreline reading 0 for each teams there. West Ham United and Stellenbosch, neck-to-neck contest there. Witnessing pulsating first quarter so far. 20 minutes on the clock, 15 more to go with added time. West Ham United are inching closer and closer, trying to get a hold perhaps into the game first, keeping the possession as much as possible. There's that interception yet again. This is where they're losing out the ball. Back again to a Stellenbosch. Van Wyk off towards the skipper then. We have the likes of Jalen Trent as well. Shakir Ahmed from the flank, turning the role of a wing back there for Stellenbosch. They'll be skating on thin ice if they do that, is what I'm talking about. Just that last man defense. You lose the ball, boom, you're away then. Being brought down. Prince Anor. And just grabbing him alongside in his run. It was Kodua. Stellenbosch win a set piece in their favour. Prince Anor on the right. It was in fact it was Shakir Ahmed there. Quickly turning around, Prince Anor this time. Off towards Antonio Van Wyk. Shakir Ahmed and Van Wyk. Combination we've all loved watching. Here's Kyle Jurgens, in fact. Winning it back. This time round from the left flank. Stellenbosch upping the ante yet again. The skipper leading from the front. Antonio Van Wyk. Oh, he's been brought down. I'm not really sure why was the challenge. Clumsy challenge. Not needed there. Just to be careful not to concede anything from that spot. Stellenbosch can pull off miracles from there.
Get together. Okay, stay high. Hold on.
A free kick then for Stellenbosch.
Yes, okay, get in.
Van Wyk lines up alongside the likes of Rocky Nafuntir. Looks like it could be the likes of Jalen Trent
Get up, Bill.
or perhaps Antonio Van Wyk there. Eventually going in for a shot, deflects it out. Still in the box, he's onside, gets it inside, should be a touch, and yes it is. And the first goal comes in from Stellenbosch. What a way to start the campaign. Antonio Van Wyk pulls off an absolute stunner. Give them 3 points for the match, but give them 10 for the celebrations there. What a way to open their accounts. And yet again, that campaign, Shakir Ahmed from the right, with a partnership masterminded, and a brilliant finish there from, in fact, what a way to kick off proceedings here. Kyle Bailey with a goal coming up. We've seen a lot of that earlier on. Kyle Bailey gets the first for Stellenbosch. Happened, of course, against the run of play earlier on. West Ham were piling on the attack. What a way to start the campaign here. Here's another chance. West Ham! Oh, take a bow for that. Equalized through Kalen Casey. What a towering header. West Ham United, I told you, with a blink of an eye, can get back into the proceedings. And how? Look at that for a header. Rising like a phoenix and gives West Ham the equalizer almost immediately. 1-1 at the Reliance Corporate Park. As we were relaxing and calming down from that stunner pulled off earlier on against West Ham, they eventually reignite that flame and get a goal back in their kitty. End-to-end stuff here at the Reliance Corporate Park. West Ham and Stellenbosch, two teams, are now raising the stakes here. Kyle Bailey with the goal for Stellenbosch, and then eventually Casey with the equalizer. Entertainment at its best. Two goals back to back, and we've had goals already wanting to come. Now it's been an interesting first half then. Neither teams would want to let the guards down eventually before getting into the end of this first half. West Ham certainly would leverage that confidence into another goal scoring opportunity there. They've been lethal in their 18-yard box. You can't let them flowing freely. Interesting start then. 25 minutes on the clock. 2 goals, 1 from each team here playing. Stellenbosch were just about to settle when that goal came in. And there has been the USP so far. Here comes another attempt then. Physically enthralling. Afontir is back at it again. Off towards the skipper. Gets that man inside. They're in the 18-yard box yet again. West Ham have to be careful. This time Mason Terry does a brilliant job in cutting down all that space that he had. Billy Bates and Mason Terry partnered yet again to save another one for West Ham United. Off for a corner then for Stellenbosch. Goalkeeper surged up as well as Antonio van Wijk pushes that up. In comes the skipper. It is Kyle Jurgens. Keep the ball off cheaply there for West Ham. For one, me has to make that run. Was a little too quick on that occasion. Not sure if they were really complacent after the goal they scored there, but what matters at the end of the day is that they have the goal in the kitty. West Ham really now maintain that pressure. Look at how they snatched the ball there from West Ham. Loris Scogan will have his boys get back to conversation during the half. Could just be that Jamal. Here's Clayton. Plays it inside. No marking so far. Just that one man for West Ham United inside. Regan Clayton. Off towards Tyron. Puts the ball in yet again. Regan floats it on the top. Oh, could have been an action replay of how the first goal went in. This is where they get in handy. All the headers certainly posing a threat always from all the aerial delivery coming up. Casey giving them the equalizer. This time couldn't connect. Is Ryan, who was running up ahead. As we learn, some medical attention needed there. We could have pulled up one of his muscles down there, but what an interesting tale we've had so far. An incredible storyline, 1-1 in this contest. It was a lead which is given through the partnership of Antonio van Wijk And an ace finish that from Kyle Bailey. And they've been an absolute revelation, the South African side. Not sure they come down as the defending champions, but more importantly as a dark horse when you have the likes of some of the tallest clubs out here in their own respective leagues. Bengaluru have really found it hard. The defending champions of the Reliance Foundation Development League, winning the second time round. And they've not really had a record they would want to remember in the Premier League Next Generation Cup. But so is the game of football. Unpredictable. All matters who plays down in that given day. You can perhaps be a champion on paper, but it's all about who delivers in that 90, 70 year. Then in comes West Ham on towards the right. Another attempt then. Owanmi, the man who's won a goal this time round, wants to go for it, does so. Regan Clayton with a shot on target yet again. What a delicate ball put down there towards Clayton. And eventually a collect there from goalkeeper. On the other end, it's action yet again. Rocky Nafuntir puts down the ball. They have a man inside, intercepted brilliantly. The West Ham defenders have been on their toes. Watch out for that. All those squaring balls coming in from that flank right in front of your screens. Zenden Bell. Funtir. Van Wyk. What a lovely ball. A delight to watch. South African side. West Ham. This time pushing forward with a run. In comes Liam Jones. Off towards that man. Owanmi. He can strike from there. We have seen it for Owanmi. Clayton. In comes a shot this time. Ballooned it over. Lewis offered. Giving Dijon Asheen a little space there. Could have eventually bottled that up. They're certainly playing like the defending champions, Stellenbosch. And this is where again you've seen box-to-box action. Here's Trent yet again. This time could be the second one. Could have been through and through Mason Terry. But even in that rebound again, Antonio Van Wyk couldn't make it count. Explosive. Yet again, Jalen Trent this time. Inch perfect pass that to Rocky Nafuntir. Tried to get through and through the goalkeeper's legs. There it is, Mason Terry. Brilliant reflexes there from him. Saving it, another one for West Ham this time. He's under pressure. The defenders have to really pull up their socks because they've been leaking too many balls in from there. Such clean passes in a high-stake game like this. Can't afford, can you? Prince Anor off for his goalkeeper then. Perhaps we're having the under 18s and 19s especially battling it out. Academy teams from the likes of Wolves, Everton and also West Ham have flown down to India in the third edition of this Premier League Next Generation Cup, earlier called as the Premier League and Hero Indian Super League Youth Cup. And talk about giving the youth talent a chance to flourish as West Ham pull it out this time. Regan Clayton. Stellies would want one goal before they could go into this half, giving them a psychological advantage in their favour. They've been exceptional and eye candy football that from the South African side. And as viewers, entertaining for all of us. The goals are there, the tackles are there. Thankfully, no cards so far on display. Just calmly keeping the ball with them. In comes Lewis Offord, who snatches the ball for West Ham. Clayton onto the left. Given back yet again. West Ham building it up from there. Jamal in the centre. Kalen Casey. They're getting in Mason Terry into the action. They've got it back. Billy Bates earlier on for West Ham. Jamal. Sturdy defending from the tall lanky as Venkatesh grabs his whistle to signal the end of the first half in what has been a pulsating half for both these teams. Stellenbosch got that initial lead through a stunning display of passing and eventually a fine finish by Kyle Bailey, and then immediately right across West Ham United getting that equaliser, and the scoreline reading 1-1 in favour of both. Well, let's have a look at the highlights then. Started out a 4 p.m. kickoff out here in India, and West Ham were looking forward fresh after the victory against Bengaluru, and Stellenbosch against ATK. Both teams getting the better of the Indian counterparts. Started out pretty much well, and right from the word go they were at it. This one could have been the first one if not for Kyle Bailey, but eventually he could have found his way back. Another partnership then, and this is how the conversion comes in. Shakir Ahmed and Kyle Bailey, Antonio Van Wyk, and then immediately within a blink of an eye West Ham United got a goal back through the towering header coming in from Kalen Casey in fact, and then with just attempts flying in from either ends to both sides. End-to-end action, and that's how the story has been so far out in this match day 3, match number 9. Stellenbosch taking on West Ham United. The story so far, it is Stellenbosch 1, West Ham United 1. Stay tuned for action on the other side.
Team sheets, so you know who the players are?
Yep.
Oh, good, because I can't. Can I take a photograph of that?
Yeah,
and
sure.
then I'll know who's who.
Yeah, sure.
Are you broadcasting it, or
Yep.
what are you doing?
I'm the commentator here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
Oh, pretty much.
1-1 is kind of not a bad place to be for the time being.
Where are you from?
I live in Bombay. I live in Bandra, but I'm originally from London, so I'm a West Ham fan.
Oh,
So I thought I'd come and support the boys.
that's brilliant.
But
So
yeah.
how are you liking it, the campaign so far?
Yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, it's the first time I've been out here. I didn't know that this facility even existed, right? I never have any reason to come up this side. I mean, I drive down the expressway to get
Right.
to Pune or Goa or something, but I never stop this
What do
side.
you do? What do you do?
I have a business here.
Oh,
So
nice.
so anyway, I thought I'd come up and
Watch out wide, Nande. Stay active.
Hello and welcome back then. Hello and welcome back then to the second half of this all interesting and pulsating battle between Stellenbosch FC from the South African Premier Soccer League and West Ham United from the Premier League. End-to-end action, 2 goals scored, 1 each for Stellenbosch and also West Ham. And we have seen an exciting and thrilling contest so far between these two teams. West Ham in the black away kits and Stellenbosch playing the home kits yet again. The maroon and shades of yellow as they go forward. And this is how that attempt came in yet again. A corner then for West Ham. It's Stellenbosch on the receiving end this time. The referee will probably now give him a warning. They're wanting players just colliding out there. Eventually, without the ball, that's the funnier part. Sheer physicality of the West Ham players. You can have a look closer. Probably sitting feet away out from this man and comes across yet again. This time West Ham would want to get their names in the second goal as well. Here's Liam Jones, clear away comfortably. Prince Honor, it was earlier on, getting that all important clearance. And they've looked quick switch then. What a lovely turn yet again. Stellenbosch, this time it's West Ham wanting to take the shot yet again. George Erdi. Quickly surging back up again. West Ham collected easy. 1-1. Certainly had a few fans of West Ham United from India who are in fact out here, called the Indian Hammers as well. A collective group which supports the West Ham. Just to start the campaign here, Stellenbosch have looked to get that interesting start to the first. Here's a chance. Prince Honor. Great ball put in there now. Here's Antonio van Wyk, crucial to the first goal there. A cross comes in. Here's West Ham, in fact, wanting to. Here's a chance, changing it forward. Kyle Bailey, man who's got the first goal earlier on for Stellenbosch. Here's Nande Oiwana. Quick turn. Here's a chance. Lovely attempt. Antonio van Wyk. Magical touches, which is, in fact, has shown us the South African feel and class of how they can score goals. Remember back stint. Remember, of course, that stint back in the 2010 World Cup. Surprised everyone in the world with the exceptional performance. Here's a switch then. This time Mason Terry from West Ham starts it right across. Probably heard of some changes down there. We'll let you know. Just to give it an idea for all the viewers who are watching us live on the YouTube channel of the Premier League, alongside the Indian Super League and also the Reliance Foundation Youth Sports, the Premier League Next Generation Cup in third edition here in India. Yeah, the last one being played in the UK. coming back out here for the third time. Started out in 2019, and since then it's been a roller coaster ride with the likes. In comes Stellenbosch. Here's a chance. He does so, and look at that for a finish. And Roy Fontir pulls off a magical run, a magical finish from the magician Roy Fontir. There's that lovely ball put in from Antonio van Wyk, and a finish which he'll remember for a long, long time. It's Stellenbosch 2, West Ham United 1 then. Look at the way they've come back. Roy Fontir this time round. Smiles will tell you what it means for them. The partnership has been incredible. And this man, who has found the back of the net last time round as well, giving their all-important winner against Stellenbosch, gives the second one here as well in an all-important clash against the Hammers. What a turn of event then. West Ham are finding themselves trailing yet again.
Right, Kiro, no. In behind, go, Wiley. This is stand.
Here's another incursion then. West Ham United are surging up forward. They're winning it back yet again.
Man on.
Quick little turn. Lovely intercepted now. Tyrone Akpata for West Ham United. Ryan. Here's another chance then. West Ham United on the prowl to get the equalizer. To get the second.
Step up. Fall left, too close to see.
Liam Jones.
Step. Right. Let's not lose focus here. Right.
Pushing it forward here again.
Let's go to CC. In behind, Kiro. Cross.
Here's another attempt then. West Ham getting inside. Dinks it over the goalkeeper. Can he find the back of the net? Yes, it does. Well, we are having an absolute thrilling contest between two teams who have given us so much of entertainment. It's just one goal on either ends, and West Ham United have got the second in the kitty. And look at the way, brilliant piece of understanding of the position, and then eventually winning it over the goalkeeper. 2-all, West Ham 2, Stellenbosch 2 then. And talking about Liam Jones, who made it possible. A brilliant understanding there of the positioning of the goalkeeper, dinking it over the goalkeeper and giving West Ham the second. End-to-end stuff this from both these teams. Interesting campaign out there. I'm sure the viewers are on the edge of the seats because this is turning out to be an overwhelming with emotions there from either side. And the South African fans would love this, not now, when of course they're in the lead, but the Hammers so far have looked to bring back what is rightfully theirs, the goals which they wanted. 2-all as we enter the 45th minute of this battle. End-to-end action from eight teams that you have just watched. Such an entertaining game. That time round, Mason Terry had a word with the defender there. Dejan Sheen on the other end is wanting to understand what really went wrong in their approach. He certainly had the charge. That's all that he could do. If not, just stay around, stick rooted there. And the Hammers are now eventually in quest for the third one. In comes Ryan, switching it out towards the right, finding Faunmi. There is absolute physicality there. Nande,
Kilo, right, press, step up. Press, go,
Kyle
step
Bailey.
up. Now, keep.
The Stellies have really made their mark here, have really made their presence felt here in India. Of course, Indian football fans also learning and understanding about not just the football they play, but also the culture. That's some brilliant celebrations from Stellies. And also the pre-match rituals, which we've all loved. Bringing so much flavour to this contest. In comes West Ham. Liam asking for it on the right. This time he has to give it off. Too many players circling him. Gideon Kodua could have done much better on that occasion there. Talking about the Hammers India fans who are wanting that. Oh, quite acrobatic that. Grabbing the ball on the go. The skipper there. Seen such a classic build-up that to the game here. Watching two forces to reckon with. Stellenbosch and West Ham United. The Hammers, of course, celebrating the victory, taking them to that all-important European finals in the UEFA Europa Conference League. And this time round, yet again, we've had another attempt. Just trickling down. Stellies are close yet again in getting that. Interesting, the flag stayed down. Another angle probably could tell us how. It was Roy Keane Funtir. Stellenbosch have looked promising in their campaign here. Impressive victories back to back. And here, against a strong team, they've really shown the character. Here's another chance then. Stellenbosch are piercing yet again. Now gets a finish. This time, Mason Terry gets an all-important contact there. Roy Keane Funtir was up for it. Here's a change then for West Ham United. We have Dan Rigget, the man who got the first goal for West Ham United against Bengaluru, being brought inside. And the statement of intent from Loris Coggin pretty clear now. They won the goals. And is replaced by the man who's got the goal there for West Ham earlier on. In fact, the second one. Two goals end-to-end action. Summarizing all of it. And can Dan Rigget be that blessing in disguise for West Ham United as he's been brought inside? Two all so far, the scoreline reading. Could be an absolute treat to all the fans from West Ham as the Hammers get in a position, in a commanding position, eventually scoring a goal or two from here. Quick turn there. Now Regan Clayton. The Wolves on the other end, in fact, would be wanting to get another 3 points in the campaign in the Group B encounter. Playing in the evening, of course, against the Indian teams. Here's a chance then. Intercepted quickly. Here's another attempt. In comes Funtir, one-on-one. Two goalkeeper, in fact, two defenders there, one goalkeeper. He's looked so much, with so much poise there. Volatile from that 18-yard box. Can pull the trigger in more than one occasion from that edge. Can make those runs as well. Talent-totting youngster, Roy Keane Funtir. Give and go Tyrant. Moved a little towards the center now, making out space for Jamal. Turning the row for centre back. They're pressing high. West Ham United. Can't afford laxity here. They want to get
No foul.
that all-important third goal there. Yet again, defended very well. Stellan.
Come organize, don't switch off, come.
Doesn't matter what man is, you must check him when he's going behind Shakiru. Someone must Shishi. Yeah.
Quickly pushing back this time round. A corner for West Ham then.
Bailey, Tony on. Linden. Linden, Bailey, Roy, come. Keeper.
Quick turn of events. And just confirming about a couple of substitutions as we get to understand. I'm sure Loris Cogan, the West Ham United head coach, would want to try and the likes of Juan Gioli Skulls were on the bench as well. Stellenbosch 2, West Ham 2. Such an incredible storyline so far for this game.
Four right, Kiro, 4 right. Doggy, 4.
There it is, George Erdi then. Earlier on it was Shakir Ahmed.
Doggy right now.
Shakir Ahmed has been instrumental in shaping that defense line and ensuring that the West Ham don't really penetrate from between.
No foul.
Erdi has been brought in. Like I mentioned, here's a chance. A feeble one, in fact. The far wide right into that position. It's just interesting to see how they have got back a lot of things in their kitty. West Ham with their approach towards their opponents. They don't take anything for granted. Stellenbosch now on the defending end. Pressure by Ryan. Whistle there by the referee. And points out towards the drinks break then for these two teams who are battling it out yet again in the second half. And the goals that have come in, again, one each for both ends. And this is how it looked like. The brilliant display of passing there. Shakir Ahmed and pairing up alongside Kyle Bailey. In a brilliant display of passing. And then that celebration was really caught our eye. And eventually everything then coming back the same way it ended the first half. And it was this header which really got back West Ham United back into the competition. And then we had the second from Stellenbosch. It was Roykina Funtir pulling off a magical goal from his left foot, finding that bottom. And then what else? We knew West Ham United might as well come back, and that's how it happened. It was that run from the likes of Liam Jones, just put it out over the goalkeeper, and then it's 2-2 how it's panned out so far. The story has been equal. In a titillating and spine-tingling 53 minutes that we've had so far. Just a word of caution then from Evangelos Velios, the head coach from Stellenbosch, of understanding that this is where now, in that last quarter of the game, they really want to up the ante, take those chances. I mean, the likes of Roykina Funtir and Antonio van Wyk out in that striking zone, you can expect some astonishing finishes coming up on your way. Here's the captain, pushes it forward. Stellenbosch looking up, rake it little. Ryan, well defended now, pushed away by Kyle Bailey. When the campaign started out, Stellenbosch looked desperate for that first goal. They got it as well, but then a little complacency eventually setting in. You have to be careful. You're playing a team like West Ham United with so much character and experience coming out. Talking about the campaign, the senior team winning that all-important last game there from. Just a quick turn now. The last victory for the senior team, of course, came against Leeds there, 3-1. The fans to cheer for. Here, they're certainly doing so. What a lovely ball in. Here's a chance for Odi! And West Ham United have taken 3 and getting closer to the 3 points. George Odi and the prodigy is brought inside by Loris Kogan has fired. And it's 3 for West Ham, 2 still for Stellenbosch. What a fabulous run. Kodua battling it out to George Odi, and then George Odi finding their back of the net, slotting it home comfortably. Brilliant positioning yet again. Slipping it through the goalkeeper. 3-2 at the Reliance Corporate Park. To talk about team character. This man has given West Ham hopes now to come forward in that group. Remember, they are out there battling it out against a fine team up ahead in Group A, in Group B in fact, on the other side. We have Wolves with 6 points, remember. Young champs with 3 in the kitty. If West Ham win this competition against Stellenbosch, they'll go on top of Stellenbosch, who are leading that table. And they've called for offside. No, it is not. Roy Keane Fontier in another goal. And what a story. What an incredible story we have out here at the Reliance Corporate Park. This game is getting down to the wire. An absolute cliffhanger. And Roy Keane Fontier with the second for himself and the third for Stellenbosch. What a story. He was onside is what the question, and then eventually the flag staying down. And Fontier giving the third goal for the Stellenbosch team there. Just having that conversation with the referee, the assistant referee there, and wanting to understand. But it's 3-all end-to-end stuff for all of the viewers here. 2 goals for Roy Keane Fontier. And the story, 3-all that from the Reliance Corporate Park. He's being substituted, and what a brilliant game he has had. Roy Keane Fontier. We are watching a thrilling contest between 2 teams who've been out there at loggerheads from the last 1 hour.
Got it, right shoulder.
What a game of football. But
hang on, play me.
here's a chance.
Challenge!
3-all for the teams here. Absolute entertainment, delight to the eyes of the viewers watching us live from the Reliance Corporate Park here. We've had multiple changes coming in from either sides. Stellenbosch 3, West Ham 3. 6 goals have been scored so far in this contest.
Yes, we did Dylan.
Quick changes coming up, like I mentioned, from both sides. We're having Zola Jacques there, the man who got the first goal for the Stellies, now coming in place. So the one who's got 2 here for Stellenbosch again. West Ham United have some thinking to do, because this is all getting out to be a cliffhanger. It will go down till the last minute. It's been so many goal scoring opportunities, so many goals scored as well.
Keep standing left, guys.
Quick movements then.
Sakira right.
Here's Kalen Casey.
Garu left. Garu left.
West Ham now going for the unthinkable, the fourth goal for them in this tightly contested battle. There have been possibilities of that coming in. Stellenbosch, in fact, there's no favourites in this game. All the viewers who are watching us would now know that as well. We had two teams who have just been on the prowl time and again. Turning away this time. The Stellies have moved from that mid-third. West Ham United this time were on the receiving end. They were eventually trailing. Now they get the third one, and then Stellenbosch equalizing right away. Such a tightly contested battle, this one. 6 goals scored so far, probably a couple of them in line as well. And I'm sure fans from either teams are enjoying this battle, isn't it? You've poured all your love on the social media feeds. West Ham United off for a free kick now. Lewis Orford calls it inside, still in the box this time. Dizon Sheen is a comfortable collector. Look at the calmness on his face, telling a story there. Irrespective of where the ball is, he'd be the king of the box. Quick twitch there. Attempts it in full flow, of course. We've seen this game moving. A mix of the tiki-taka style of football, a couple of long balls. Most importantly, what you've seen coming from the tactical perspective is the counter-attacks, which has really mattered a lot. And that too, immediately, the pattern has repeated time and again for both these teams. Dizon Sheen. Tightly contested. Here's another attempt then. Antonio Van Wyk still in the game. Touch and go still with him. It was a Kyle Bailey who gets it now in the box. Antonio Van Wyk to the right. Attempts it. Is the new man who came in. Azola Jacques Lachey in contention. Well, the question is, can he get his name on the scoring sheet as well? Kyle Bailey and Antonio Van Wyk been running from box to box from that position, from the left flank. Here's a corner for the Stellies. Look at the marking there. Accurate. They're not really keeping the zones out there, but eventually going out for the man. You watch out for that tall and lanky Kalen Casey eventually. He's already come up with one goal. You leave him out there, he'll gobble up anything he gets in that small box there. Antonio Van Wyk off towards Jalen Trent. Receives it back. Van Wyk. Sensible play this from Stellenbosch. Captain now involves the keeper there, Dizon Sheen. They've seen that how Bengaluru were trying to play this out, but turned disastrous for them earlier on, conceding that first goal against West Ham. Not really confident, but certainly when you're playing a side which is physically stronger, you can expect the ball, in fact, get expected to dispossess your team right away, and that's what certainly happened, Jamal.
Behind Bailey. Away. Away.
And of course, on the other end, we are having ATK Mohun Bagan taking on Bengaluru FC. And two teams from India which have really traded up in that Reliance Foundation Development League in a build-up to this particular competition. In comes West Ham. From an interesting position now. Ryan at it. Takes a right footer. Kisses the side net. Ryan with a promising run yet again. Inch perfect pass. Ryan. Lovely turn. And then a shot attempted. Trying to find the top corner there. Nothing doing for Dijon Sheen. Quick turn. They've loved these teams. We've had different sections of fans coming in to support out the teams as well. And speaking about the Indian Hammers, we have a few of them here who are watching this game live along with us. Sitting across out here as we have a substitution coming in. Ollie Skulls is talking about him. He has been brought in now. Two goal scorers from either ends have been brought inside. Azola Jaklashe for Stellenbosch and Ollie Skulls for West Ham. Which one will fire first is the question. West Ham have looked evenly poised there. There it is. They don't need that. They certainly don't need that. Well, they're having such a brilliant game. Tempers are bound to flare. What is the conversation we're trying to understand? It was Jalen Trent earlier on. Probably for that ball which is placed out there. It's getting physical. It is getting physical now. Look at that. They've had a good game. Just trying to move them from a physical space there. Lovely touch. In comes Kodua from the flank. Challenging then. They're calling it to the ref. Play on, says Venkatesh in between. The referee for the game. Looked like a clean challenge. There was no contact when it came down to that. George Erdi has got the goal for West Ham United. Looks promising. A right footer yet again. Here's Regan. And don't be surprised if you see players from this team playing it out for the first team. Plenty of them will go out eventually to play out for the senior squads. These are the future stars you're watching as we see substitutions coming in. We have Andreas, who's now brought in place of Smith. In fact, Smith comes in. Talking about Kyle Bailey coming out for Stellenbosch there. Got that all-important goal to start the campaign then for Stellenbosch. This is where it's getting physical. A lot more than it was earlier on as West Ham pile it up. An appetizing ball inside, just finding the upper end of the goal. There was that Ollie Skulls who's racing forward. Won a ball back from Hawanmi and lovely little turn, but then just finding a little too much. 70 minutes getting on the clock as we inch closer to a thrilling battle between two teams who have shown their class time and again, not just from a goal scoring ability, but the way they have defended. They've kept the character on the field a couple of times, tempers flaring as well, but in the end, as we still moving, probably with a couple of minutes to be added from here on. Stellenbosch in the funnier one here. They've had all that color, flavor and everything that they have, but what's more important is they have goals and they have points in the kitty. which really matters as they lead that Group A in West Ham. If it stays like this with 1 point each, it would still be the Stellies leading that Group A from there. Here's a chance for Wanmi. Puts in a ball inside. Asheen comfortably collecting it. Stellenbosch would be happy with the point, is what it looks like, if they wouldn't want to concede a goal. 1 point, like I did mention, if you see that points table there. 3 minutes of added time, we get to understand, and that's how it'll be. Remember, we're playing 35 minutes each out there, which has so far witnessed 6 goals. Here's the man who's just come inside, Andreas. Off towards Antonio Van Wijk. Can he produce a moment of magic? Van Wijk cuts into the center. Still inside. Van Wijk this time barges onto him. And well, look at how what happened. And the man in between, Jamal, didn't even bat an eyelid. What a lovely run that from the striker. Oh, here it is getting strong. Oh, no. This is certainly not needed. This is certainly not needed. Oh, you feel sorry. You feel sorry for this. It is not needed at all. These two teams have been tempers flaring. They do not want this happening at this point in time. This is Kandamil. This is not certainly that you want in a game. You have to calm down. Been such a brilliant game of football. You don't want this. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is how that last attempt came in. Antonio Van Wijk went in for the challenge. Where is that frustration coming from? It's been an intense battle, we all know and understand as viewers. Viewers are watching it far across, but I'm sitting in this commentary box a couple of feet away from them. I can feel that heat right away out here in these teams that have battled out so hard. Well, the referees, they look at it. What do we have here then? A flurry of yellow cards? Well, we confirm that in just a bit to you all. We have seen this competition being battled out till the end, but could this be a moment which can turn the match on its head? Let's try to see who all have got that yellow card. Oh, it is a red. He's been given marching orders then. What is happening out here? Drama atop this match, which has seen so many goals so far. And it's been a red card there for the West Ham prodigy. You won't be happy with that, certainly not. Confirm the number to you all then. Jalen Trent, in fact, on the other end, it was 2 red cards being flashed. We're just confirming that in a bit yet again. There've been so many things happening out here. Uh-oh. Another one yet coming in. It's Kyle Jurgens who's received a yellow card here. And well, 74 minutes on the clock. Red cards, yellow cards, goal, we've all had it. This has been for a contest. It's been such a cracking contest for both these teams, and coaches are up on the seats, on their feet. You can see the bench there tensed a little. We've had 3 minutes of added time as we promised earlier on. Dan Rigge, George Odi have been all brought inside. Now West Ham, can they make a final goal in this contest here. Here comes Antonio van Wyk. In dying moments of this game, Stellies have a chance here. They're racing forward. Here's a chance then for Stellies. What a lovely save. Pulls off an absolute stunner. And Mason Terry charges forward. And on the counter, our West Ham United receives it this time round. Kodua is at it. The fourth goal in contention. Asheen clears it out. Antonio van Wyk alongside Kodua.
You're right, silence, silence.
Here's Ryan. Switches flanks.
Yes, come, Aizo.
Regan Clayton receives the yellow, as we confirmed then. We did tell you about the number of yellow cards being tossed. Here's a chance. West Ham United are at it one final time eventually. Here's an attempt deflected. Lewis offered, well, almost was close to giving West Ham the fourth. Here was an attempt for Wanmi. Got it inside. Eventually followed up from Lewis Offord, but trickles away from the goal. A corner for West Ham United. In dying moments, spine tingling that for all the viewers who are watching us live. A long ball inside, clear in the centre, it's a header. Well, what's happening here? We saw the referee in the centre. What a game he's had as well. Regan Clayton, there was, we confirmed for the red is what we got. And while that floated delivery came inside, Kodua went for the header in a bid to give West Ham the fourth. Wanji from get the red card as well. What a game of football we've just witnessed, guys.
Left, Lander.
Close call yet again. We're having jitters down here with every single move that is being done here. Ripples across this ground. As viewers, as coaches, as fans, anything you might call them, as a commentator, but this has been a rip-roaring match. As in comes yet again Kodua. George Erdi. Kodua is back at it again, this time to the far post. Heads it inside, this time a chance for West Ham, cleared away in dying moments. And the referee in between against that South African Premier Soccer League team. 3-all, West Ham 3, Stellenbosch 3. That's how the story looked. We started out in a bright, warm evening out here in India, in Mumbai, at the Reliance Corporate Park. Two teams which look evenly poised. In fact, started their campaign earlier on, and we immediately started off with goals right away. There was nothing taking from these teams, as it was this attempt which was almost inside the goal there. And then we had the Stellies racing up and getting their first goal through a Kyle Bailey effort. And then eventually in that equalizer, we had West Ham United, who went forward for a towering header earlier on through Kalen Casey. And there has been no stopping there. The shackles were off right from the start for them. And there was this finish which got them the second one. This is how it happened. Roy Keane, Afuntir eventually. And the second half started out. Immediately we had the first goal coming in through that man. Sparkling form for Stellies there. We had interesting turn of events. West Ham United equalizing as well through the second chance. This is how that happened. Lovely, delightful touch by Liam Jones, getting that all-important goal and equalizer for West Ham. That's how things have been. What a game of football. What an entertaining half. The second half, and then there were goals galore. The West Ham unit tried to bring back the fourth one into the kitty. This is how it turned out. The third equalizer there from